$50 million in US taxpayers' money for condoms in Gaza. Now, this is a lie, an absurd and deranged lie, which has been spread by the new US press secretary. Let's just take a listen.
Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money.
Now, as we know, Israel's cheerleaders lie and lie and lie again, and Donald Trump's allies lie and lie and lie again, so we can expect the new US administration to take already endemic deceit to whole new levels, and so it has proven. But there are many lessons here which are worth exploring, which I will. DOGE is, of course, the Department of Government Efficiency. I don't think I'm even pronouncing it right. Good. Which is led by the richest man on earth, the billionaire Elon Musk, who definitely did not do two full-on Nazi salutes in front of the entire world. The claim about $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza predictably was seized upon by right-wing pundits like Jesse Waters on Fox News, who claimed that these were being used as booby-trapped condoms.
Are they worried about safe sex? Because you know what they're doing with the condoms? No. They're making condom bombs. That's right. Hamas booby-trapped condom. Look it up. It's a dual-use technology. Thank God they got rid of that.
What are the facts here? Well, as the Guardian report this morning, the US Agency for International Development did a comprehensive report last September, which found in the previous year that the US spent about $60.8 million globally on contraceptive and condom shipments. No condoms went to any part of the Middle East. There was just one small shipment of oral and injectable contraceptives sent to Jordan worth about $46,000 or less. In fact, only $7 million worth of condoms were distributed globally by USAID, and 89% of family planning funds went to Africa. It's also pointed out that Trump's administration spent millions sending contraceptives across the globe. Now, I mean, this whole thing is just so crazy and ridiculous, isn't it? It's just where to begin? Where to begin? There was a useful lesson, though, into the plight of Gaza itself, because as the brilliant Palestinian analyst Mohammed Shahada points out, Israel bans condoms, full stop, for being able to enter Gaza in the first place. And guess what he notes are also banned? Crutches for disabled people, seeded fruit, oxygen cylinders, water filtration systems, sleeping bags, cancer treatment. Declared that the civilian population of Gaza were human animals and they would have the basics of life cut off. The Israeli state made good on that promise, as well as doing all it could to stop the means of existence from getting in and making it as difficult as possible for aid that did get in to be distributed to those who needed it. Israel did all it could to destroy agriculture and local food production. So aid banned from getting in, and the ability of Gaza to sustain life within destroyed as well. The idea that $50 million worth of condoms were ever going to get to Gaza is a lie, and a deranged, unhinged lie at that. Why lie about something like this? It does make me think of Steve Bannon, of course, the former key strategist of Donald Trump, who once told the writer Michael Lewis in 2018, the Democrats don't matter. The real opposition is the media, and the way to deal with them is to flood the zone with shit. The author Jonathan Rauch cited this quote when he said, "This is not about persuasion, this is about disorientation." And some might go on the back of that, why even respond to these lies? You're just allowing yourself to be distracted by shit. Stay focused on the real issues. Well, other than a useful hook to emphasize how Gaza is being besieged, while I have your attention, okay, sure, let's use this moment for something else. 1 year ago, a family in Gaza, a Palestinian family, tried to flee. They tried to flee Gaza City for safety as Israeli forces closed in. In their car were 4 kids and 2 adults. Now, almost all of them were slaughtered by the Israeli army as they tried to flee. One of the 2 survivors, 15-year-old Leighton, rang the Palestine Red Crescent, begging for help. You heard her shot to death while she was on the call. All that remained, surrounded by the bloodied corpses of her family, was 5-year-old little girl Hind Rajab, herself bleeding to death from her wounds. A terrified Hind then rang the Red Crescent, begging for help.
ميتين؟ وهم هلا معك بالسيارة؟ انت هلا وين متخبي هلا؟ وين انت هلا محمية؟
بالسيارة.
جوا السيارة انت صح؟ مش برا السيارة.
صح.
طيب خليكي يا عمري بالسيارة، أنا رح أتمني فاتحة الخط معاكي، أتمني أحكي معك، ما بدي أسكر التليفون، تمام؟
الدبابة جنبية.
الدبابة وين؟
جنبية.
2 paramedics were sent to save her. Their movements were coordinated with the Israeli army. As they arrived, the Israeli army blew them up. Almost nothing remained of their corpses. Days later, the decomposing bodies of Hind and her family were found in that car. Now, crucially, an investigation by Forensic Architecture, a team of experts who've been doing a huge amount of work looking at the actual facts of what's happened to Gaza, they revealed the truth, that the tank was 13 to 23 meters away when it opened fire on that car, a car full of 4 terrified little children and their 2 guardians, that there were at least 335 bullet holes observable on the body of that car. This was in broad daylight. The idea that one of the most sophisticated militaries on earth did not know who was in that car before they opened fire on them is a nonsense, a clear, obvious, insulting nonsense. This family amongst so many other families, this family was deliberately killed. And this one hideous incident underlines the horror of Israel's genocidal onslaught against Gaza, the full depraved truth about one of the great horrors of our age and the moral bankruptcy of its defenders. 1 year on, we must never forget Hind Rajab. She epitomizes what has happened to the people of Gaza. A giggling, happy, smiley little 5-year-old girl, just like any other 5-year-old, who just wanted a happy life with so much ahead of her, butchered in the most horrifying circumstances, deliberately by an Israeli military armed to the teeth by Western governments. And I would note that investigation into Hind Rajab was barely covered at all in the entire Western media. Why? And again, it's not something we should indulge too often. Let's put it that way. That we should have to indulge the fact that Palestinian life is simply not treated as having any worth. But of course, imagine that had been an Israeli family and they'd been slaughtered in those circumstances by Palestinian militants. And we had a 5-year-old Israeli girl begging the hospital to come and help her, the paramedics to come and help her, ringing the emergency services, and those paramedics were then slaughtered as they came to rescue her. That would be seen as testament to the utter barbarism of those Palestinian militants. But 1 year on, Hind Rajab, largely ignored by the Western media, by Western politicians, and instead we are having to listen to unhinged nonsense and lies about condoms being sent to Gaza. Well, the truth is the truth, and we'll keep speaking the truth.